Good evening, everybody. 7:15 here in Ireland. Wanderley and I are here
Hi guys.
to talk about chapter 14 of the Gospel according to Spiritism, items 8 and 9. It's a short chapter. I think it's the shortest chapter in the book. And it's good to understand these family ties, the how it works, and we will we will see how it goes now. I hope you're okay. I hope you're fine. Thank everyone. I can see people are joining us. Thank you very much. While hey Leah, good to have you here, my dear.
Yeah.
So in order to start, let me do the initial prayer. So let's raise up our thoughts, make connection with superior spirits, with our mentors of the group, asking them to send over us his blessings, sending this light to all brothers and sisters who are in need, those who are in the hospitals, those that are without shelter, facing difficult moments like depression, anxiety, even those who are in the hospitals. So be it. Amen. Okay. Okay. So today topic, as I said, it's item 8 and item 9. One talk about corporeal kingship and spiritual kingship, and the other one is children's ingratitude and family ties. Uh, those are very important chapters. The reason is because we need to understand why we are in this family, uh, what's the relationship with this family. Some people they feel completely connected with the family, mom, dad, brother, and sisters. Other people doesn't feel a connection at all. You think you are, I don't know, the black sheep of the family, like, because you don't, nothing. You like red, they like blue. And this give us some kind of comfort because it's going to explain to us how it's formed. In the spiritist movement, we always say, "Oh, I'm here because I needed to." So if something bad happened to us, "Oh, I'm here because I needed to learn, I needed to hang on." And I have some concerns about this kind of comments. I agree we are here to learn. I agree we are here to evolve. I agree if we have this relationship like with family, with friends, it means we are here to support each other in order to evolve. However, what I don't agree with this argument is nothing is imposed to us. Nothing is Oh, I did something very bad to Wanderley. Oh, now you two gonna reincarnate. No. Why? Because perhaps I am in a stage of evolution that I do not understand the reasons why led Wanderley to do something which I don't agree, which generated how during this incarnation. Okay, so so you're saying you will not reincarnate together and learn from each other? I'm not saying this. I'm saying everything happens in the right moment. Perhaps I need another incarnation in order to acquire more values, and then in a second incarnation, I will come along with Wanderley in order to both stay in the same level of understanding and resolve this vow. I would say the the latest choice is you are not in a position to decide this. Your mentors will push this, and then they will act and say, "Okay, Stevan will reincarnate as son of Wanderley, and both will need to work together." This is a great overall. So, Wanderley.
Thanks, Steven. So here on item 8, Kardec, the spirits, they start just saying that the family bonds, they are not only the blood ties that we have here. So I am a part of a big family. We are 8 altogether, brothers and sisters, and with some of them I have a much closer relationship. With some of the others I don't have such a great relationship. I love all of them, but it's a different style, of love. It's hard to say that I love one more than another. It's not like this, but I have a closer connection with some of them. And in this, Kardec explains here quite well my point I'm making here, the point I'm making here. Because the spirits, they explain to us that the family boundaries is made in the spiritual world. So spirits who are really like connected to each other are spirits who have mutual um, they have mutual tendencies. They have lived before for a while. They have a good relationship. These kind of spirits, they are more like a spiritual family. While sometimes once we are in the material world, we have spirits, as it says here, that they do not know each other from previous lives. Actually, they do not know each other from any life before. But in some case, like Steven said, depending on the level of the spirits, there is an imposition of the spiritual world to say, okay, let's say Steven, because you are a bit more clever, you're gonna have Wanderley who is still learning as your younger brother, for example, on Earth. But myself and Steven, we didn't know each other. I haven't seen Steven in life. We weren't enemies. We were completely strangers. So why does the spirit add these two strangers in the same family? Because Stephen may have something to teach me as a younger brother, or I may have something to learn from Stephen. So they find an opportunity there to try to connect that spirits. And maybe if both spirits they want that, because it's a matter of wanting, it's a matter of will, like Stephen said, these spirits they become acquaintance in the next lives. So what we have to understand that all the relationship that we have in families nowadays, in any family around the world, they start everything the spiritual life. It's not because I was born in that family that I know that spirit or that I don't know that spirit, but there is some connections among us. As we said, could be only, let's say, because, for example, Stephen likes to he in this reincarnation he is willingly to try to be more charitable, for example. Okay, so I'm this unknown spirit to Stephen who wants to be more charitable. So the spirits they see, okay, spirits Stephen, he's willing to do more charity in this life, and I can see that Stephen maybe he's gonna be able to succeed. At least he has some chance to succeed in this life. Okay, I have some spirit there. He's just left over in the corner. Wanderley. Okay, Wanderley, you want to learn a bit of charity? Come with Steven. But I don't know Steven. Come, he's gonna teach you. And that's sometimes how it is, how we start to connect with each other in the spiritual world. That's how we start to connect, and that's how we create our boundaries. And after several incarnations, perhaps, as it says here, we may able to become friends, spirits which are friends, who have good relationship with each other, who have connection. But everything starts in the spiritual world. But one thing which Steven said, which is really, it's really true, everything is a matter of the will, because the spirits, they cannot force us most of the time. Of course, as Steven said, there are some compulsory reincarnations where the spirits, they are obliged to be born in a family which perhaps they don't want to be born. Let's say they are born in a family where they had an enemy. And Andrea Luiz explains to us that a lot of times natural abortions occur in these cases because the spirit does not want to be in that family, but he has to be in that family to learn something. But what the spirit, he's not, he's such in a mood that I don't wish this, I don't want to be there with this person or these people, that he dies by a natural abortion. So there are several ways that the spirit can still use his free will to complete this mission or to don't complete, to don't go through. But of course, that's more complex. But everything, as it says here, is starting in the spiritual world. Go ahead, Steven.
Uh, I let's do a kind of exercise. Uh, if you are a mom, do you love more your son or your husband?
It was me, my
If you're
son.
a mom, no.
Uh,
What do you
my son.
think? What do you think?
A son for sure. Husband, I don't care.
Okay, great. All three are in a car and you have a car accident. All three discarnate. Okay? Then three, you three decide to reincarnate again. But your son will be your husband, and son is gonna be, and your husband is gonna be your son. Which one do you love more?
If I was in that life, my son. In this life now, my husband.
Yeah, that's the point. Uh, that's the point for this exercise. We we don't have, oh, I love him the most. We will understand we are evolved when we have the same kind of love to everyone it's around us. When you feel this the same kind of love to someone you never met before, you just saw this person on the street, and oh, I love this guy, I like him. This is, I would say, the top of the cherry on the top of the cake, you know. But we and this show us how far we are, because it's love. I say, oh, Wanderley, I love you, I love Nate, I love my wife, I love my children, I love, it's easy because I even love you guys who are here all with us, Leah, Don, all the Linda, all these guys were we with her for almost 2 years. But how I would say, if I will love someone who are just cross the street, or someone who gonna steal my wallet, my car, how I love them. And the reason is we have to have these family ties. Let's say we can divide these family ties in two groups: corporeal ties and spiritual ties. Corporeal ties, it is the blood, the flesh. And what's the mission of a mom and a dad here? It's give a good education to your son, to your daughter, teach good path, did good things, and that's it. That's the mission. This is the mission. So you are saying, Stevan, because my mom today perhaps not my mom in the spiritual world. Yes, yes. We don't know what's the purpose of our incarnation here. We don't know. But your mom here on earth could be your mom in the spiritual world for sure. But that is no that is not a rule, my friends. We are in evolution, and it's one helping the other. Like if I need to incarnate in order to learn something, those who are close to us will say, "Oh, Stevan, I'm a master in this. You know, let's do this together," and I push you forward. So it's fraternity, solidarity, all these together make this incarnation possible.
Possible.
But we can say what's avoiding these plans go well. Well, according to the Spirit's book, I don't recall which question. What are the things do not allow us to evolve? Something like this is the question, and the Spirit says it's two things. One is pride, the other one is selfishness. So if we are able to let our pride, let our selfishness away from us, even though your difficult moments, moments of learning, we will handle this easily. We will know how to pass through difficult times. We will know how to overcome these barriers. But our selfishness and our pride always stop us. Anything to add, Wanderley?
No, just going further here. Once we're thinking about family, one thing which happens in all families, I believe, not only mine, I guess, it's fights. People do not agree with each other, but sometimes one thing even worse happens, especially among children and their parents, which is ungrateful children. Okay, let's think like this. Once you have, we said that last week. You just want to be quite brief, but once we have children who perhaps have a difficult parents, it's natural for them in this life to be quite ungrateful and do not appreciate what they have, not appreciate their parents. But as we said last week, we have to understand that the most valuable thing, the most valuable means of evolution is what our parents gave to us, which is our life. So therefore, it doesn't matter if you know your parents or not, if they were bad or not, we should be grateful. And then we are coming here where the spirits, they say to us that a lot of times when the spirits, they are with each other, they try to progress, and once they decide to be in one family and they see other spirits who perhaps are, as Steven said, who belong in their spiritual family, in their spiritual ties, progressing, and we keep lacking behind, we start wonder, how come Steven or someone else from my family is going through? Why am I stuck here? As we said last week, we see that in the book Renunciation, where Alcione, a spirit who was quite evolved, and all her family was lacking behind, but she was going ahead. And like Steven said, pride and selfishness are the main things. So once we are stuck, in our pride, in our pride, only wanting things for us. No, in our selfishness, only wanting things for us. Or once we think we are the best, we are stuck. So then we're gonna be seeing, like Andrea Luis says to us, our loved ones going ahead, and we are stay behind. And there is no other bigger truth than this one that Andrea Luis says to us, that everyone must progress, but everyone must progress according to their own merits, like Jesus said, according to our own deeds. So, if I want to be with someone that I love, in some case in the spiritual world, perhaps my spiritual mom, maybe like Stevan said, it's not my mom here in this life. She's in somewhere superior, like Andre Luis. Andre Luis' mom, she's somewhere far superior from him, and he could
Hmm.
not stay with her. He wanted to stay close to his mom. He really wanted, but she could come to him to see him. But she said, Andrea Luis, where I am at the moment, you cannot go. So I'm sorry. Or we see the case, the famous and beautiful case of Emmanuel, who,
I
according to
got
Chico
this.
Xavier, yeah, who according to Chico Xavier, each Sunday Emmanuel wasn't working with Chico. And one day Chico asked, "But why, Emmanuel? Why don't you work on Sundays? Is there any um, working rules in the spiritual world? Is there any, rules that doesn't allow the spiritual benefactors to be working on Sunday?" And Emmanuel explained to him, "No, Chico, that my loved Livia, she's in such high sphere that each Sunday I'm allowed to see her, but only on Sundays and only for a few hours. So where she is, it's
And
here.
he need to
And
get prepared day before
prepare.
to be there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he had prepared himself. So Livia was here, Emmanuel was here, and Chico was still here. And imagine where we are, guys. Of course, we are not trying to say here we are the worst, but what we are trying to say is like this: in our spiritual family, those spirits that love us, that wants us to progress, they might be somewhere else, but they are pushing us. They are saying, "Come on, Wanderley, leave this vice behind. Why don't you stop being prideful and so selfishness? Why don't you stop doing this and that? Comes with us." It's like, when I have that saying that once you give one step forward towards God, God walks the entire kilometer towards us, So we just need to do some small actions. We have to prepare ourselves, but we have to make stronger our will. Once we make stronger our will, once we realize what we have to do, and here they give to us the best tip ever. As it says here, these spirits understand that in order to reach God, there is only one password, and only one password, as they say here, which is charity. So if you want to progress, and if you want to reach God, or if you want to be closer to the other spirits, which belong to our spiritual family, we must act in charity. And we said here so many times what is charity, what's not charity, what can be done, what cannot be done. But let's go back, guys, and try to understand that charity here is not about giving everything, but it's in giving your time the best way possible, trying to be nice. But that's something which they say quite clear. Do you want to progress? Do you want to get closer to God or to those you love? We must do charity. Otherwise, there is no way. Doesn't matter how much knowledge you carry. Doesn't matter how much, I don't know, how much how old you are as a spirit. Maybe you are a spirit who had lived 200,000 incarnations already, but you are still here because you're not really trying to learn something new. You're not practicing charity in the chances that you have. But that's what the Spirit says to us. And also forgiveness here. Neither can there be charity if there is no forgiveness. So how can we be here on Tuesdays, Thursdays, or Sundays, or whatever? How can we say anything about spiritism if perhaps myself and Steven, we have troubles with our family, and if you're not able to start to learn how to forgive them? That's very contradictory, guys. So, in order to us to practice charity, a charity for us in our level is perhaps like the Spirit says here, to at least trying to forgive the ones that we have difficulties in our family, trying to see a brother that perhaps we have a difficult relationship and understand that he is in his own level. Once we have, let's say, our mom, which we have difficulties, we must try to understand that she's in the best place that she can be. in order to progress. And that if she makes mistakes, if she does things that we don't agree, that's okay. But our part is to try to forgive, to practice charity, and charity and forgiveness here walk hand to hand. So we must try to start doing charity inside our family instead of trying to save the world like so many people do. Go ahead, Steven.
No, I'm just saying. Perhaps you may asking to yourself, oh, let's say you have a bad experience with someone. You say, oh, I don't see me reincarnating with that person. Unfortunately, our knowledge and our perception why we are incarnated is very limited. But for sure, once you are back to the spiritual world, uh, there is a reason why. If you are passing through this problem right now, my suggestion to you is pray for that person. Perhaps you both didn't make the peace between you guys, but start to pray for that person and for you as well, in order to ask God, in order to sow this feeling in your heart, because this is temporary until we have love between you two guys. This is just temporary thing, and we need to work ourselves every single day to understand what we need to do. Again, it's easy to love that little girl here,
Oh yeah.
but how I can love someone who are on the street right now? I never seen that person. So we need to work this in ourselves. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. I'm not saying it's something I never get. But someone needs to throw the towel. And throwing the towel is not a moment of weakness, is a moment of strongness. But someone needs to give the first step. Let me see here what to say more. Did you highlight something important here? Not really.
No, I was going to say about some further parts in part 9. Once you are done, I start. But it's just about like, as you were saying before, about the responsibility of becoming a parent. Because sometimes I don't have kids. Okay, Steven has two. So I'm gonna say here as just an spectator, as a voyeur. But what I've seen is like this, because I have three younger brothers. Okay, one younger brother and two younger sisters. But when I left Brazil, they were quite small, so I didn't have chance to do many things. But nowadays, I see a few things on them which I don't really like, and perhaps it should be controlled when they were young. As things on myself, but there was no one to control in my case, because my father used to work a lot and my mom has her issues. But what I'm trying to say is this: if you're a parent and if you see your child going to the school, and in the school you realize that your child is quite selfish, your teachers they say, oh, be careful, you know, Little Wanderley, he's very selfish. He only cares, he just wants things for him. He doesn't care about the other. He's fighting a lot. He's shouting at people. And if you just like this, oh, he's so nice. Oh, he's just small. Come on, give a break. Be careful. Be careful. Because as the spirits here, they say that the good gardener do as the good gardener does. Cut off all the defective shots as soon as they appear on the tree. So what they are saying to us, what a good gardener does. So once you have your tree there, and if you see there is some kind of plague or something around the tree or in the field that you are planting your stuff, what do? You go there and cut off. You clean. The same has to be done with your children, because if you see something quite, I wouldn't use the word bad, but if you see some kind of um, instinct which perhaps is manifesting, and as the spirit explained here, all the bad tendencies they're gonna manifest a little bit in childhood. If you are seeing this, and if you allow your children to keep doing this, further on, once your children start to have difficulties in their lives, further on, once your children have troubles and have
Yeah,
perhaps, yeah, go ahead, Steven.
I'll say the tendency it's
Yeah.
do what you learned.
So once you allow these tendencies to keep growing, further on, do not say that you are not responsible. Do not say, oh, but I had them the best schools possible. I gave to them everything. But you didn't do the most important thing. You didn't cut off the bad leaves. You didn't give to them the proper education. You didn't say no to them. That's why a lot of psychologists they say nowadays, do not try to be the best friend of your children. Be a parent, because they are not there to have to be your best friend. You're not there to be buddies. Of course, it does not mean that you cannot have a good relationship with your children. Of course, we don't live anymore in the 19th century, in the 18th century, where parents they have to be like generals. No, we are not saying this. But psychologists they say that parents they should put a barrier and say, "I'm your father, I'm your mom. Respect me. Do as I say." Of
No,
course, you cannot.
I would say you can see a buddy of your son of your daughter, but you need to know when you need to act as a buddy and when you need to act as
That's
a
it.
dad.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, agree.
You know?
But Steven, the thing is here, as they are saying here, that if later on we be surprised with the ingratitude of our children, it means that according to the spirits, perhaps we allow them to do whatever they wanted to do in their lives. We didn't we didn't educate, we didn't want to spend time with them. So many parents nowadays they give everything to their children, but they do not spend time. They give this mobile here on iPad and say, ah, come on, stay there. I'm not saying that if I had a children, I would do the same, because I would do the same. Say, come on, be quiet, stay here for a while. Come on.
Sometimes
Stay.
it's so good.
I know, Steve. I know. I've seen that. But I think I would have my Peppa Pig playing on their mobile or on their iPad. I understand that. But what we have to be careful is not to do that all the time and only care about giving to them material things and not teaching them values. Because
Yeah.
later on, guys, as the spirits they say here, we're gonna be responsible. And if we do not teach values to them, later on, it's gonna be our part, it's gonna be our fault, but of course, it's gonna be part of the spirit also, because they had free will and they could have changed in adult age if they wanted to. But later on, we're gonna have to be again as their parent or come again in the same family to try to repair this. So it's a very important topic. But go ahead, Steven.
Yeah, what Don says here. It's our responsibility to train our children and socialize them. I
True.
completely agree. Completely agree. Uh, you have to ask to whom you hang out. Let me see your friends. Bring your friends here. It's not, oh, I don't do it because when I was in my daughter age, I hate my mom do it to me. Your mom was teaching this to you. You know, like I don't know. I know moms and dads, parents. Let's say parents. They they give sweets to their children in order to give a meal, a proper meal. Why? Oh, because I want to 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 give to my son was I couldn't have when I was child. I always wanted to eat chocolate and I didn't have money to buy it. And now they want to give to them. Hey, but let's use our common sense here. Let's balance this equation here. Okay, you are in a better position compared to your father or your parents at that time, but it's not because you are in a better position you allow your kids to do what they want every time. You need to set rules. And sometimes when we set these rules, it is when the wheels fall off the train because your son or your daughter will start to hate you. I don't like you. I don't obey you. I don't want to see you. And all these things just because you didn't say. And this is the moment you need to be a parent. And this is the moment we need to understand, okay, what I need to do. Perhaps you need to ask, now you know we have two kind of ties, corporeal and spiritual ties. Now you need to ask yourself, okay, am I facing here probably a situation in which I needed to understand what they are doing? We need to socialize ourselves. If you identify this is perhaps a moment you need to work, exercise your patience, exercise. Oh,
It was me, Steven.
it was you.
Yeah,
Uh,
because the link is huge. Sorry.
okay, so I thought it's like.
I know.
uh,
Yeah.
so you need to exercise this in yourself. You need to show, and at the same time give the first step in order to have a reconciliation between yourselves. So I think this is the end of the chapter, Wanderley.
Yeah. It's quite a long. It's quite. I mean, part nine. The chapter is small, but part nine is quite long. You know.
Yeah, but we could summarize everything.
But Steven, it's interesting because sometimes, we see. I think we said that last week, but since because we still have some time, we see someone else family and we say, "Oh, his father is so nice. Oh, his mom is so nice. Oh, such a happy family. Why don't I have a family like this?"
Yeah,
And then that always explains to us, guys, that once you see, and we said that last week, but we're gonna say again, but once we see a happy couple or a happy family or any happy relationship, do
yeah.
not mistake that spirits they know each other for a long time
They
and they have
fight a lot.
they
They probably they kill each other in previous lives. They
yes
did a lot of things.
they had a lot of bad relations in the previous like Stephen was saying, but because they were because one thing we have to understand is the law of reincarnation is quite simple. It's like Jesus said, do reconcile with your adversary while you are with them. Okay? So once you take this phrase, we understand like this. In reincarnations, it's quite simple. If I don't get along with Stephen or with someone from my family, uh, one thing is for sure, I'm gonna have to be reborn with that person in the next life. It does not mean that we're gonna be again as friends or as a family or as a stranger, which may know each other, get to know each other in the future life. No, but we're gonna have to be reborn again, having some relationship. So this case, like Andrea Luis says about these happy families, they are cases of spirits which they were following the law of reincarnation. They had to reconcile with each other. So they had several problems before. They have several incarnations where they were trying to fix, and they come to a stage where they start to fix things among them. Then they start to be good spirits among each other. They start to be spiritual friends. They start to have these spiritual ties stronger. So that's why sometimes we see a family which is very, very happy, and we have to understand that that spirits, perhaps they were spirits who are living with each other, not as a family, like we said, for many, many reincarnations. And now they're in a stage where they like each other, where they know each other, where they respect each other. But sometimes we see families which they are having so many troubles among them, which perhaps we cannot guarantee say that, but we can at least um, to guess that there are spirits who are still fixing things among each other. But one day, like all other spirits, they're gonna be happy spirits. So one day, that family, in the future life, perhaps, or maybe even this family in this life, they're gonna be a happy family. But which family? A spiritual happy family. Because, like Jesus said, who is my brother and who is my sisters? All of those who follow the God's law are my brothers and sisters. So what was Jesus saying? That we are all brothers and sisters. But if we want to be living among each other, we have to be following God's law. And here, as the Spirit say, we're going to go back. One very easy, not very easy, but easy to say, but a very good guidance for us to be following is to practice charity. Once we are doing this God's law, we are getting closer, like we said. So we are all a big family here. All a big family. Do not forget this. Do not mistake this. Myself and Steve, myself and the stranger on the streets, myself and the stranger in Guatemala or in any other place. We're a big family. And one day we're gonna be here reunited in the spiritual world once Earth evolves a bit more, and we're gonna see each other as brothers and sisters, as a huge family. Like John Lennon said, imagine all the people, like living, in a world of peace. What he was saying is what's going to be happening with us in the future, but in the longer future, unfortunately, I believe. But that's our
Far,
future,
far away.
very far. John Lennon was right, I
Like
believe.
Star Wars, not far,
In a
far away
far, far.
galaxy.
So, guys, do not mistake that we all gonna be nice to each other at some stage, but it may take longer. So while we are here with these people that we call family or friends, let's try to be nice. Let's try to understand, why has God given me this mother, this father, or these brothers and sisters? Why has God given me these difficult relationships for me to deal with? Once we start to see this as just something temporary and as some bigger plan in order to learn, everything starts to get easier, because we know, oh, it's just another incarnation. I'm gonna be living with this person. This person is another spirit like me who has problems, who wants to, conquer himself, who wants to improve themselves. We are all equals. But I hope that makes sense, and that
Yeah.
unless anything Steven wants to add.
No, nothing. Guys, someone, again, someone needs to give the first step. If you are the son and you are having problems with your parents, think like Wanderley said. Why? Why this behavior of my mom, of my dad annoys me? Why, when I hear their voices, it's annoying me? Why? It's something more deeper, or it is something you just created a barrier, and the problem it is with you, not with them. As we said in our most of our lives, like forgive doesn't mean forget, but forgiveness, it's a process. So you need to be the first one to start this process. Why? Why you and not them? Because you are listening this. You are studying the Spiritism teachings. You are here with us today. So the weight on your shoulders now, it's heavier because you know how to do, how to proceed. That's it, my friend.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have any questions, guys, please let us know. Otherwise, we'll wrap up for today because, as I said at the beginning, the chapter is very short. So we didn't want to start a second the following chapter because it's a completely different topic. Thank you, Nora. Thank you for having us as well. Okay. So, Wanderley, you can do the final prayer.
Sure. Okay, guys. For those who feel comfortable, I'd like to invite take a deep breath. Let's take this time that we are having here to try to remember someone from our family, someone that we love, or perhaps someone that we have some difficult that is not close to us. Let's try to send good vibrations. Let's ask forgiveness if it's a trouble that we have with this person. Let's say thank you to that person. And if even better, that person is close to you, if it's a person that you love, try to say how much you love, how much you care for that person. And if that person is close to you, that person that you have some trouble, try to comprehend that person. Try to ask for forgiveness. But if perhaps, but if perhaps today you still have pride on your heart and you don't want to say this, that's fine. We are all in the same boat. We understand how hard it is to admit to ask for forgiveness. But let's at least send a good vibration to that person. But let's not wait for too long to ask forgiveness. Because if that person disappears from our lives, our hearts will be full of pain. So let's not waste any more minutes in order to fix our facts with people, to fix our issues, our trouble that we have with family and people surrounding us. Thank God for another day here in the Spirit Society of Ireland. Thank God to be among friends with Stevan and those who are watching us for over 2 years. And we hope that sometime soon we're going to be able to be reunited in people, in person, in a place like we used to be. Thank God, and so be it. Stevan, just before we forget, some people they're asking us because they are saying that the restrictions are easing in Ireland, and we understand that. But until now, guys, we do not
Yeah,
gonna have.
I said on Thursday, given this on Thursday.
Yeah, so we do not know when we're gonna be able to have our presential meetings yet. Once we know,
Yeah, the reason, guys, it's because we the premises we used to rent, they are closing their doors, so we need to find another place uh, thinking about location, uh, amount we need to pay as well in rent. So it's a lot of factors. Uh, all of them are on the table right now, and we need to play the game. Let's do it. Meanwhile, let's keep it with our meetings here. And even though when we return with in person, face to face meetings, we will still have the virtual meetings. We're going to do a hybrid mode. Okay. Let me see. Don's wrote. Don, I think I already answered your question. Do you plan to continue online after reopening? Yes, Don. Yes, we will continue. Uh, no problem. Okay. Yeah. So we just will see how to where not how. I think the question is where to God is sending us.
And if there is anyone rich here who has a house in Dublin who wants to borrow us 2 large rooms, we are accepting, guys. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. And also don't forget 8:30 today we have our virtual healing.
Yeah.
So just go to our YouTube page and we will see our wonderful team preparing wonderful healing for you guys. 15 minutes, 20 minutes most, but it's worth. And also Wanderley put a link here. If you want to add your name or someone else's name in the prayer box, just click on the link. It's anonymous. Okay, nobody has access to this. Only the team will see it doing the prayer. That's it. Okay. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow with the spiritual light, and Thursday with me and probably someone. Okay. The apostles taught in private homes. Yeah, we can't do in the private homes here because I'm in your home right now. Though I'm in Nora's home. I'm in Leah's home now. So, but we are in order to become apostle. We are too. Oh my gosh,
Far.
far. It's far away from that galaxy we mentioned before. You know, we are all learning here. Okay, thank you guys.
See
Have
you
a nice
guys.
evening. See you. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye.